Here we go. This is definitely not take 2.
All right, here you go. Hello.
Hello. Here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
Another episode. We're calling
In the
this
Know.
season 2.
Yeah, we're on like episode 12 or something of season 2.
Who knows? There's too many to count, but we're here with Andrew Zimdars.
Hey, guys,
And this is going to be super exciting.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is great.
All right, well, let's start with a little Tori, and then we'll get into it. Okay?
Yep.
Okay.
In the know in the 920.
Isn't that a fun little jingle?
I love that, jazzy, yeah.
You know, I tell a lot of people this, but it's true. When my husband said, all right, he's in IT, so he helped me get all of this going in the beginning. And he's like, all right, here's some jingles for you to pick from. And he gave me like 75 million. And I just had like absolute analysis paralysis. I was just like, which one? This is going to be with us. I felt like I was making I was like the president. I
Yeah.
was making such a big decision.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to stick with us for a long time.
You picked good.
Thank you. All right. Well, we're here with Andrew Zimdars.
He's from GPS Ed.
Yeah.
Yes, GPS Ed.
Yep.
And tell us, what your title is.
Yeah. So I'm a Senior Partner Services Manager.
That sounds really fancy.
I guess.
Senior partner.
Yep. So I oversee 3 regions of our work. I live in West Bend, but I oversee Washington County, Dodge County, and then the Fox Cities as well.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So you
lot of
have
miles
to travel.
in the car.
I was going to say you travel a lot.
A lot of miles in
Yeah.
the car. Yep.
Yeah.
Bought an electric car just simply because.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
Do you find that there's enough, this is totally off topic, but enough
Yeah.
charging stations around?
Oh man, great question. I think for where I'm going, yeah.
Okay.
But when I start going the other directions to like Dodge County,
Mm-hmm.
definitely not.
See, yeah, and I've heard that, especially like in, we're not on like one of the coasts, right, where things happen quicker and there's more available, right? I've heard that people like have problems finding a place to charge it.
As long as you're on 41,
Yeah.
it's not too bad. There's one in Green Bay, one in Appleton,
Sure.
Oshkosh. But yeah, you have to think about it. It's
Yep,
not like gas.
you have to think about it,
Where you're
right.
like, I'll just run till empty and then stop
Right.
at a gas station.
Yeah.
You have to plan out where you're headed.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. But it probably saves a lot of money.
Yeah, so I did the analysis, and based on what I was spending in gas, my utility bill went up, but it cut everything in about half.
Did you do a spreadsheet?
No.
Are you a spreadsheet guy?
I am not. No.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
I
a
was just
spreadsheet.
curious.
Oh.
We work with a lot of spreadsheet people, which I
I love spreadsheets.
We love our spreadsheet people.
You would do well at our organization. We have spreadsheets galore.
All right, well, see you, Kelly.
These spreadsheets are for he likes them way more than I do. He's got I can here's how I do it. I open Excel and I can do, put in some basic formulas equals the sum of blah blah blah. That's it, right? But then when I need things that are like more advanced and like automated, that's when I go to him because I'm like, I don't understand this. Anyways, we get off topic a lot. It's kind of fun.
All good.
Yeah. All right. So GPS Ed.
Yeah.
I mean, this is honestly, I personally have never heard of it before, which is one of the things I love about doing this because
Yeah.
it's in the know and the 920. We should know what's going on.
Well, that's
Right?
the thing. Is like hopefully somebody else that's watching this has never heard of it before, and
And now they're going to know.
learning. Yeah.
And it's going to be, I love that so much.
absolutely.
So tell us all about this amazing organization.
Yeah, so a little history. We are in our 25th year, so we're
What?
having our 25th anniversary coming up.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so September 25th, 2025,
Okay.
25th anniversary down in the Milwaukee area. We were started out of industry by Generac Power
Okay.
Systems.
Really?
Yeah, so
Okay.
they, at the time, their chief human resources officer had the desire and the kind of intuition to think like, hey, we need to get more students in the high school ages exposed to manufacturing
Sure.
and ready for careers in manufacturing, and in turn could also use this as a kind of a talent pipeline for employees they could hire.
Sure.
So it started kind of in the Waukesha area, and it's kind of grown into what it is now, which is we have 8 sites in the state of Wisconsin. And really at the core, what we do, the differentiator, what we do is not only are we preparing kids for technical careers, manufacturing, construction, automotive, skilled trades, but we're serving kids that the traditional school model just doesn't fit them. Sitting in a classroom for 8 hours a day, an hour of class, bell rings, next class, et cetera, right? They'd rather be doing, and they're asking those questions like, why am I learning this? When am I ever going to use this again? And so what we do is we change the setting and the four walls of where they do school, and we run regional sites where we have classrooms that are embedded inside a manufacturing facility. And then kids attend the school day there with us and learn more of a technical curriculum along with like career prep and, employability skills, things like that.
Sure.
And then we also place them into a youth apprenticeship as part of the program. But really the differentiator is that where they go to school and how they see school is completely different than what they're accustomed to.
Sure. I love this whole concept.
Yeah.
I feel like there's so many kids I could benefit from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So
It's hard. It's hard. Let's put it this way. I think it's hard for so many people, myself included, everybody is supposed to be put in this like box and learn in a certain way, right? And I remember, I got straight A's, but I got straight A's because I'm just a workaholic. I had to work really, really hard at it. My ADHD is off the charts, which back in the 90s when I was going to school, it really wasn't like a big thing.
Yeah.
I always knew that I had a really hard time paying attention and retaining things, but like because I could get away with memorization the night before a test, I would get an A, and so nobody said anything about it. And I remember like several times. He's my brother, by the way. We're related.
Okay.
She's 12 years older than me.
Yes, we're big age difference. But I remember telling mom we always try to talk about mom and hi mom. I remember trying to tell right. I remember trying to tell her like sometimes like I just feel like I can't pay attention. Yeah. Like it's all over the place. But everybody, again, it just kind of, now it's so much more, I think, prevalent and people are watching for it more and there's, they do more about it. But I think it's so great to have different ways to learn.
Yeah. Well, and I'm a millennial. I don't know how old you are.
Listen, hold on.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are certain studies that say, I was born in 81.
Okay.
There are certain studies that say that I am on the cusp of being a millennial. Let's just go with it.
We'll give you the millennial tag.
All right, thank you.
Of this
You are a zillennial.
Welcome to the club. But millennials, the whole conversation in the last however many years about the student loan debt situation, right?
Yes.
Millennials went to college for the experience. We wanted to go and have fun and like find ourselves and like, do the college thing.
Yes.
And then we'll figure out how we're going to pay for it later after we take the student loan debt and all that stuff.
So true. Hand is up right here.
Same,
Kelly Davies. Yep.
Same. And then we kind of hoped we'd stumble into a career or whatever at the end of that journey. And I think, the younger generations have started to learn from that. And I think it's also the reality that there are good paying jobs in the trades, in technical careers that, maybe college is part of that path, but it doesn't necessarily need to be.
Sure.
Especially a traditional four-year college. And
right.
That's not to knock four-year colleges. I worked at one for 8 years, and that's the right fit for some people, but it doesn't have to be the journey for everybody.
That's so true. I was listening to a talk show recently. Now I can't remember which one, but whoever was on there was talking about their college experience. And they're like, let's face it, I don't remember anything I learned in college. It's more about the whole, like, it's kind of like 4 years of like, okay, now you're kind of off on your own, but you still have somebody sort of watching over you and you're learning a whole lot about life, right? And life skills and things like that. But yes, there's definitely different ways to do that.
Yeah, I mentioned it on the podcast a couple times, but yeah, like I did 6 years of college. I dropped out twice. I don't have a degree, and I did IT stuff for a few years. That's what I went to school for, and I ended up realizing I hated it, so I never finished school for it.
Yeah.
And what's funny is you're like, it's just the reality of it. You're way smarter than I am.
Thanks.
You are. I finished. But again, see, I'm the type where if I start, I'm going to finish. I'm just going to work my tail off to get there. But again, I don't really remember any of it.
Yeah.
And now I'm a realtor. But don't worry, everybody. I know what I'm doing in real estate, okay? That I have down. Okay? I might not remember a lot from college, but I got this real estate thing under control.
And what's interesting is that, we run these education centers, and that's at the heart of what we do. But as an organization, our whole focus is at work-based learning. And in a perfect world, we would love to see every high school student take part in some sort of work-based learning experience.
Yeah,
Because whether they join our program or stay at their home high school,
Sure.
doing a youth apprenticeship or some sort of work experience is so impactful to help kids understand, like, where do I want to go after high school? What do I like? What don't I like? Where does my skill set match?
Yeah.
And then just learn employability and soft skills.
Yep.
That, we tell kids and anybody that'll listen all the time that you can learn to weld a widget or make a widget in tech ed class, and you can change an oil filter in tech ed class. But until you're on the job site and you have the pressure of like the quality and the efficiency, and like you have the customers waiting for you, or somebody on down the line wants that done correctly because it affects their work, and a coworker bugs you, like all those things can't be duplicated.
Yeah.
Except for
So
on
true.
the job.
It's so true. And that's what, and I completely agree with you on that, because let's think about this. So I have a business degree, and obviously that kind of bleeds into real estate, and that's fine. That's great. Whatever. I'm still glad that I have it. But if I wanted to go and do, I don't know, hotel management or, anything else other than what I'm doing right now, I feel like I would be completely starting over, because even though I have the degree, I have zero experience in any of that stuff. Yeah. And that's so much of what it is, right? Is it's getting that hands-on experience and learning as you go.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that's huge. Well, we just had our summer, she just walked away, but we just had our summer intern, Evelyn, start today.
Nice, okay.
So we've got a local high schooler
Very
that's
good.
she's very interested in getting into real estate.
Yep.
And
We're trying to show her why she shouldn't.
no. We're trying to terrify her.
Whatever you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I think it's great, because honestly, like, if you get into this and you do it right, you can do really, really well.
Yeah.
It's not easy, but you can. But I love that she's thinking about it and learning about it now and trying to figure out, excuse me, when she's older, does she want to go to college? Does she want to pay for all that? Or does she want to go into real estate?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, because we've had people jump in at 18 years old and do
yeah.
well in real estate. Like, yeah.
Justine, our girl over there, she's done amazing. She started she's getting married. I'm standing up in her wedding. She's getting married in September. She's 26 now.
Yeah.
She reminded me of that the other day. I'm like, how is this time passing? Like, time is just
She started at 18. She's
crazy.
been here 8 years.
So how do you guys like, I don't want to say recruit, 'cause that's not the right word, but how do you find the right kids for this program? Is there a method behind it, or different ways?
That's a great question. So here in the Fox Cities, we partner with the Appleton Area School District, Kimberly, Manasha, and then Neenah High School are kind of our core. We're always open to talking to other high schools as well. But
Sure.
how it works is we form kind of a partnership with those schools to identify who are going to be the main kind of champions or points of contact at the high school. And the counselors tend to be our main people we work with at the schools.
Sure.
And what they do is they know the students the best, and they know the students that are engaged, not engaged, et cetera, and who are interested in working. Because our program is really geared on, I say all the time, to join our program, you have to be running towards the opportunity versus running away from the problem. Mm-hmm. So if high school isn't the right fit for you, that's fine. We get that. Mm-hmm. But you can't just be looking to come to our program because you think it's going to be easier or it's just going to get you to graduation.
It's not just a ticket out.
Yeah, exactly.
It's still a lot of hard work.
Yeah, it's just different hard work, right? And so it has to be somebody, a student that is motivated by work and maybe a technical career, whatever the case may be, and the school isn't the right fit. So then they'll let us know kind of every year who they're thinking might be the good fit kids.
Sure.
And then we'll come in and do info sessions and talk with the kids. That's my role. And just kind of navigate like what we do, why we do it, and is this the thing you want to pursue for your junior and or senior year of high school.
Okay.
So it's a collaborative effort with the schools. And then the cool thing is when they join our program, even though they don't physically attend their high school building anymore, they still maintain their status in their district. So when they graduate, they're completing our curriculum, but they're getting a diploma from the high school that they attended.
Okay.
So it's not like a, alternative
Sure.
degree.
It's not like a
GED or anything
right,
like
GED.
that.
Okay.
It's a legit high school diploma.
Sure.
Walking the stage with the same classmates
Okay.
that you,
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So I would imagine then there's certain curriculum that has to be covered still, right?
Yep. So we have to meet
Okay.
all the graduation requirements
Sure.
with math and science and all that stuff. But the curriculum is taught from the standpoint of that technical industry stuff. So you're
Okay.
taking math for the trades, technical reading and writing, a lot more things geared towards civics and things that you see in the real world.
Okay.
We also have manufacturing curriculum we put the students through to get certified in things like safety and quality and processes, maintenance.
Sure.
And then we put them through a lot of personal literacy curriculum. So they do a lot of things related to budgeting and taxes and
I love this.
interviewing.
Like, I'm sorry, things
Yeah.
that you're actually going to use in the world.
yeah.
Like
yeah.
that, when I'm sorry, but those parallelograms that I learned about,
Well,
woo!
the crazy thing is people going into the trades are the ones that are actually going to be using like trigonometry and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is it's funny because kids will go through their math, journey and be like, I'm never going to use fractions or a tape measure. And
Then you have to weld.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
realize, uh-oh.
And then there's micrometers and calipers and tolerances, and the math stuff very much matters. But it's interesting.
Oof.
Then the relevancy is there, and then they start to see like, okay, now
Yes.
this is why I need to learn this.
Yep. Again, that hands-on piece, I think, really adds to like, okay, now this is actually making sense.
Correct. Yep. And then for kids that weren't engaged with school and maybe had attendance or just kind of engagement issues, we really stress like you need to be there every single day on time. You're getting it drug tested in our program. We're just going to hold you to the standard of like what the adult world is going to hold you to.
Sure.
And not that school wasn't, it's just that it's a different focus for a different reason.
Absolutely. I love it.
Yeah, so there's just a lot more personal literacies but then, we still have to fill the buckets of coursework for graduation. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is some of filling those buckets, though, again, is it more they can do the learning in a different manner and it still fulfills the requirement?
Yeah.
So more hands-on, more things like that.
Yep, we definitely have hands-on learning that we do. I think what ends up happening is it's competency-based, so we're not like doing GPA or sitting in a math class for an hour. There's some instruction that will happen in short bursts, but then students can, work ahead if they feel like this is curriculum I understand and I want to just kind of continue to prove my way through it and finish
Sure.
early. And then for those students that do make those gains and finish, the curriculum ahead of time, they can earn more work hours. So
Okay.
our seniors will actually earn the ability to have potentially 2 or 3 days a week where they work a full shift and
Okay.
they don't come to class.
Nice.
And so for those students that are really work motivated
Yeah.
and want to make money and don't want to be in school, it's a good carrot to dangle to be like,
Yep.
if you do the stuff you need to do in class,
Right.
we'll get you more work hours.
I love that. Get this stuff
Yeah.
done, and then you can do this.
And
That's
for the businesses,
huge.
they have the access then for the students to work a full day, train them more, kind of prepare them for the real job they're going to have after high school. And so it's a kind of a win-win in that sense.
Now, do any of these kids end up moving into like a actual full-time role with these companies?
Yep. Yeah. So we get the question all the time of how many of your kids hire on with the business they were at, right? And it's a loaded question because there's twofold. One, we always say that the youth apprenticeship at its core is experiential.
Yes.
So we can't ever force a kid to take that job after.
Right.
And the businesses need to, on some level understand that too, because it's a goodwill for the student, but you may get a hire out of it. The second thing is we have to navigate the same hiring landscape and economy as every other person out there applying.
Yep.
So like we have kids that finished in the last couple of years that were eligible for a job and would have gotten an offer, but the company just simply didn't have enough positions, or there's maybe a union in play and then they've got to go through that process. So, we can't always bat 1,000 or 100%, right?
Yes.
So what we
Right.
typically look at is like how many of our kids earned an offer,
Sure.
and or would have been hired. Could they have been hired?
Sure.
So we work with our businesses to kind of break that down, and it's typically anywhere from 70 to 80% of our kids will get an offer to stay on, and
That's awesome.
usually, on average, it's 50 to 60% of the kids will stay and work at
Okay.
the company that they were at.
That's so great.
Yeah.
And again, even if they go somewhere else, now they've got the experience where otherwise you don't have that experience, and it's like you're starting from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just anything to put on a resume to
Right.
stand out.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yep.
That's
So-
so cool. So what are some of the things that you can identify as things that need improvement with the or ways that we can in the community help
Yeah.
improve this program?
Yeah. So, first of all, I love what you guys are doing here. This is super cool to be
Thanks.
able to tell the good things going on in the community.
Yeah,
and-
we love promoting. Again, I
Yeah.
just love doing it. I think as a realtor, you have a responsibility to not just know the streets of the community, but really know the people and what's going on, and be able to provide. I can't tell you how many times I get people moving here from out of state all the time that are like, please, Kelly, tell us the schools, tell us the this, tell us the that. Of course, we have to be careful about what we say. We can't say,
yeah.
but it's
Don't go here.
yeah, do not go there. Whatever you do, no. But it's nice. It's nice to have knowledge of what's going on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And there's just a lot going on, right? A
Sure.
lot of good things.
Yes.
So it's just a way to, yeah. So we're always looking for additional students. Every year we're at capacity. So it's not that we're in need of students. It's always just that, like, the more the message gets out there and, people refer students, we get then the students that are the best fit.
yes,
And it served them the best. And I think long term, we'd love to explore like a second site in the Fox Cities, and
Sure.
so the more student interest we'd have, the more possible that becomes.
yep,
And then I think on the business side, we're always looking for additional placements for our students. The good and bad thing about youth apprenticeship, and especially in the Fox Cities, is there's a lot of students that do it, which is great. That's awesome. We want to promote that. But there's just a lot of competition for, different business spots where students might work.
sure,
In our model, we take a very active approach to our student placement process. So our
Okay.
students, we actually work to figure out what their skill set, aptitudes, interests are, and
Sure.
then we work with businesses that we specifically partner with to actively place those students in the spots we think they're going to be the most successful.
okay,
So we have an intentional kind of wraparound support we do with those businesses to say, like, how is it going? We're going to coach the kid in the classroom on the things that we're hearing that they're doing good, bad, or otherwise.
okay,
So it's a very intimate relationship we have with
Sure.
our businesses around how this all works. And so we're just looking always for additional technical companies that want to get involved, whether it's skilled trades, construction, manufacturing, to have opportunities for kids, and make sure that they're the right opportunities that, businesses are really invested in, like, wanting to give back to the community and see that this is a good thing for kids to have this opportunity. So
yeah, absolutely.
That's really, really cool.
I know. I love this whole thing.
yeah, and honestly, you guys are welcome to come out to our site anytime you want.
That's so
come
cool.
out.
We
Honestly,
should.
So
Trip.
Yes, field trip.
yeah. So a couple things. One, just to meet the kids, but two,
Yeah.
I think it'd be really cool for you all to come out and teach the kids about home buying.
Yeah.
Because one of the things we try to convince them is that they should start saving their money after they get their first job and start thinking about putting that into a home and building equity. And
Don't buy the $80,000
Listen,
pickup truck.
If there's one thing that I can offer to these children, it's what not to do.
yeah.
All the things and truly, obviously being a realtor, I really do believe in home buying and building equity because I've seen it work for so many people. I mean, just last night I met with a girl that bought a home in 2019, so she got lucky. It was right before COVID times. But we're going to sell it for, I think, like $140,000 more.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
And we're only, 6 years later, right?
Well, and in theory, she was making payments, so she had equity on top of
Correct.
the 140.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And she's young and she's a single mom and she's doing it. And I told her, I'm like, I am so proud of you. So yeah, I love doing that kind of stuff because when I was that age, I had a part-time job, but all of my money just went up in the air to whatever I needed, right? I needed the cool new pair of pants or shoes or whatever. And gosh, if I could just tell kids, please, you don't need all of that. Save your money.
Well, and like
Save it.
one of the big things right now, and I don't have hard numbers on this, but because they keep saying that the average age of the first-time homebuyer keeps going up. So now nationwide, the first-time homebuyer is 38 years old on average.
Which is crazy.
And for us, this is anecdotal, I guess, but like out of the people that we've worked with that are, I would say, 25 or younger that have bought a house with us in the last couple of years, I would say pretty much the only people that have been able to do it are people that are like working trades and don't have massive student debt.
That's so true.
I don't think I've had a single person that's like had a college degree under 25 buy a house in the last couple of years.
That's so true. It usually is, kids in the trades and things, the younger, Yeah, if I had it to do all over again, all the things that I would do different.
Same. My wife and I think, bought mid-30s. And
sure.
Yeah, looking back on it, I wish we'd have just bought right away.
Yeah.
Because, much cheaper then.
Well, and rent, and truly, this is the other thing. Rent is disgusting nowadays.
Out of control.
It is insane. I mean, I remember my first apartment, Manasha, right after high school, because I knew everything. So I was like, bye, I'm moving out. Bye, Mom. And it was $450 a month. And it was a 1-bedroom. It was cute. I mean, nothing fancy, but $450 a month. That's manageable, right? Yeah. Now, I mean, that same place is probably $1,200-$1,300 a month. The amount that you're spending, and I understand, like, for my investor people, I get it. Like, landlords, you're running a business, you need to make money, all the things. No disrespect there, but why pay somebody else's mortgage, if you can be paying your own, right? Why help somebody else get rich if you can do it on your own?
Yeah, and I think I underestimated how nice it was to have my own space.
Yes.
Just some boundaries between me and other people.
100%, right? A couple of walls that are your own and nobody's right there and you can do what you want with them. And yes, all the things. I agree.
So you guys are welcome to come over.
I love that. We should do that.
Yeah.
We'll get Dave, our photographer. He'll follow us and because that's what we used to do. We started doing it like offsite at businesses for a long time. And then, I don't know, I think a podcast idea popped in my head like 2 years ago. And I think Nick, you thought I was crazy.
I still think you're crazy.
Okay.
It's
working. Yeah. My husband thought I was a little nuts at first, but I gotta love the guy because especially when I come up with any sort of techie stuff, he's like right on top of that.
He goes,
I'll get it. I'll figure this out. So no, that would be really cool. So your site in the Fox Cities, you said, is at?
We're still at Manasha Packaging.
Manasha Packaging, okay.
Yeah, so got to give a shout out to them. They've been a longtime partner, and we've had our Ed Center there for about 5-6 years now.
That's so cool.
And they're a huge supporter of the program
Yeah.
And getting kids into manufacturing. So they have donated a space for us to have a classroom there. We're at the PPS location, which is just down from the Neenah Foundry. And so kids go there every day for class. Juniors will come in from 8 to 11 and then work release and work the afternoon. And seniors will work the morning shift.
Okay.
And come in for class from 12 to 3.
That's what I was going to ask you. What does a day look like?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
So now we have that.
Yep.
Okay.
And then seniors will have our kids that are coming back for their senior year, who are what we call our 2-year seniors. Mm-hmm. And then we have students that just start with us their senior year, and that's our 1-year seniors. And we split them up so that at any point in time, the classroom shouldn't have more than like 12 to 15 kids in it. So it's a small class feel. And then it allows those seniors on the days they don't have class to have that full shift.
Sure.
Where they work the whole day. So yeah, it's a balance of work and school. And because, the elephant in the room is that we're off site. So there's a transportation component to coming to our program, but one of the things we tell the kids is this, transportation and reliable transportation is one of the greatest employability skills you can have. And so, it's tough because that's a big expense nowadays. But we're trying to kind of instill that in the kids that, look, you'll have many more opportunities if we can figure out a transportation plan for you to not only be in the program, but to get to work. And yeah.
That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
So how many, obviously you have like teachers, right, that are on site?
Yep. So we have an instructor who
Okay.
handles all the academics.
Sure.
She's licensed with the state, and she does all the traditional academics. And then we have a work coordinator.
Okay.
His name's Bill. And Bill is the gentleman who handles all of the placements for the students. And what's really cool about Bill is he spent 30 years plus working in a steel mill
Okay.
in southern
Oh,
Wisconsin, and worked his way up to being the maintenance manager for the last 10 or so years. So this is kind of like his retirement job.
Sure.
But he has a ton of industry experience
Yeah.
to know like what is valued and how does the industry work.
Sure.
And then can impart that on the students. And so, Bill likes to think he's very hard and like old school, but he is the
Yeah.
best person probably we have
Sure.
in the organization when it comes to building. And not that anybody else isn't, but he's just phenomenal at building relationships with the students
Sure.
and understanding where they're at.
Yeah.
And then understanding how that student's going to fit into a workplace.
There's probably a respect level there too, right? Because they know that he's been there, done it. It's not just somebody coming in and
Correct.
saying these things. It's like, well, this person actually did all of this.
Correct. Yeah. We call him the most interesting man because he's a former EMT. He does
love it.
Ham radio. He's like a trained weather spotter.
He's got it all.
He's super
Gotta
handy.
love it, all of
I
it.
mean,
Yep.
Bill's gonna kill me for saying all this, but
Hi, Bill.
yeah, hi, Bill. Yeah,
Congrats on all of the things that you
Yeah.
do. No, that's
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And I think there's something to be said for too, just like even myself, as I'm getting a little bit older and I'm doing this for a billion years, it's fun to kind of like sometimes impart some of that wisdom on somebody else that's interested in it and wants to learn about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah,
That's
I
really
think
cool.
That's what we hear all the time is when kids show up to work and like act interested or ask questions, people will invest in you.
Sure.
It's when you
Yeah.
stop asking questions and just either think you know it all or just
Right.
sit there.
Right.
People will stop investing in you.
Yeah.
So you can really kind of make your own journey by how much you're willing to
Sure.
ask questions and get involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we even have that here, when like agents on our team start and they come in and they ask a whole bunch of
Yeah.
questions, you can see that they learn a lot really quickly.
I have said this since the beginning of time, and I say it, I'm very transparent with the agents on my team. Those of them that I see on a fairly regular basis, and it's not part of the joy of, like, we're in the office every day because we're running the whole thing, but I don't expect that from them. Part of the joy of being a realtor, I think, is to be able to work remotely and from your car and from home, and you should be out showing houses, and you know what I mean? Like, you're not supposed to be in an office all day. But those that show their face that I see from time to time, I can, like, within the first couple months, predict their success level. Because those I never see, those that are, I'm like, they're not, you got to put in that little extra energy, that little extra effort.
Well, you can even kind of tell. You've gotten to where you can spot it in interviews and stuff now too. where it's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
So
I
let
can
me
tell.
ask you guys a question. What
Yeah.
are you looking for when somebody comes apply?
Yeah.
Because we talk to the kids about this, right?
Sure.
So what are the things that you look for?
So I'm super, 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 like, focused on details.
Okay.
Details are huge for me.
Okay.
I'm very type A. So, like, when I put out an ad, and let's say because I've done it many, many times, Indeed, those kinds of things. One of the things that drives me absolutely insane is when people don't follow the directions in the ad. So, like, if I say resume and cover letter, I'm looking for a resume and a cover letter.
Yep.
That's just who I am. I'm very detailed about that kind of thing. And then when people come in and interview with me, going back to asking questions, I think it's a little bit of a red flag if they don't have any questions. I understand that, again, I'm pretty detailed. I'm going to go over a lot of it with them, but I feel like they should have something to show me that they're interested and engaged a little bit. So that's a big one for me as well.
Well, and the other thing that Kelly really hammers with a lot of new people is that, like, you are technically, when you're an independent real estate agent, you're technically running your own really small business. Mm-hmm. And, business owners need to put in a ton of work. It's not like, oh, I'm doing real estate so that 2 hours a week I can work. Correct. And then I'm at the pool. It's, you're a business owner. You're doing 50 to 60 hours every week. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a full-time job.
Well, if you want it to be, let's clarify that with, if you want it to be successful, right? If you want to really, don't get me wrong. There's definitely a spot for, the part-time agent that does it very, very part-time and just whatever. There is a spot for that, but I tell them that's not going to be here on my team. I'm looking for full-time agents. You're not allowed to have another job because I've seen too many people. I want to be an agent and I'm going to cut hair. I'm going to be an agent and I'm going to bartend. And that money comes fast. This money doesn't come as fast. Yeah. But it comes if you work the system, but you can't be working the system when you're out doing something else. Yeah. So there's a lot of, I'm probably kind of maybe a little bit of a stickler, huh? Jeez, I got a lot of expectations. But this is what I always say, and I really do believe this. I have a ton of expectations for myself, and I hold myself to those standards as well. So I think it's okay to expect that from other people when I also, like with our intern, I do give grace to, the younger people as they come in and they're just learning and things are just getting started and all of that, But I mean, we had her last summer too. And wouldn't you agree, Nick, that I saw a big change from day one to end of summer? Because there's something to be said for just learning how to work in any sort of a business capacity too, right? I mean, it's not something that just comes natural to everybody.
Right.
I think the one cool thing though, because you're very selective in who you hire, because in our state the rate that agents make it to their 2-year mark in the industry is only about 20% of people. 80% will have dropped off before they spend 2 years in real estate. Mm-hmm. And I think on our team, it's lower than 50%. I think it's like 40% or something. So it's a lot lower than the average.
Is the fall off because they don't want to do the grind or because they don't have the relational skills?
Because they realize how hard it is. Over 50% of agents, this is nationwide, over 50% of agents last year didn't sell a single house.
Wow.
Which is insane.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Like to give you, so we sold, what did we sell last year? Like 270?
Our team had 307.
300, okay.
Yeah.
I like that number even better.
Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of work. And going back to like what you were saying about budgeting and all of those things. And I made a lot of mistakes with that when I first started. My broker always says, you're the typical realtor, Kelly. You're great at kissing hands kissing baby. I always say it wrong. Not shaking babies.
Shaking babies and kissing hands.
Not shaking them.
Well, on that note, the internet.
Shaking hands and kissing babies. I'm good at all of those things. Yeah. I was not good with a budget, and I didn't do spreadsheets and budgeting and things at first. And oh my gosh, that would have made such a difference in where I am today had I been doing those things when I first started instead of just like throwing everything around and seeing what worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I just love everything that you guys are doing.
Yeah, thank you. It's we're not massive, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're a niche thing, but we're trying to do what we do really well and impact students in a big way on a smaller scale,
And that's so great, right? It doesn't have to be volume always.
Right.
It can be if you've changed, some lives every year, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A big shout out to all of our school and business partners in the Fox Cities, because really without them, the program doesn't operate. And they do a ton to both support us with the students, but also financially, providing, because we're a nonprofit, right?
Yeah.
So you got to pay the bills somehow.
Yeah.
So just helping that kind of move forward and spreading the word. The Fox Cities Chamber,
Yes.
Amy Herrick over there is phenomenal, and she got us connected to this, and just all those connection
Sure.
points.
It really helps.
Super helpful.
Well, we'll put we do, when we put out the podcast, we also send out a newsletter.
Okay.
And we send it to everybody in our database and everybody that's ever been on the podcast before, the whole thing. So we will put a link, right? Because I'm sure there's a website for people to, if they want to get more information on whether it's they've got a kid that they want to maybe refer, or they've got a business that could potentially get more involved.
Yep, absolutely.
Right?
So www.gpsed.org.
Nice and simple. GPSed.org.
Correct.
Love it.
And then there's a tab on there where they can inquire for more information or request more information. So that's probably the easiest way.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. We'll
Yeah.
definitely include that.
I actually already have a family in mind that I'm going to send that info.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. Very, very cool.
Oh, you'll finder's fee.
We just want it to work. I love it. I think it's such a great thing. So thank you for all that you're doing.
Absolutely. Thank
You're
you.
obviously making a huge difference.
Yep.
So
Thank
very,
you.
very cool. All right. Well, let's talk a little bit, Nick, about some weekend events.
I'm going to let you start because my paper I just realized is over there.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, I'm going to talk about gallery night. Art night. Oh, hit the button. I almost forgot. Hold on.
Let's see what's happening this weekend
In the 920. There we go.
Nice. Love it.
Whew, now it's official. Gallery night. It says art night. So this is happening this Friday, June 13th, Friday the 13th. Okay. 365 Main Ave in De Pere. It says, mark your calendars. Gallery night is almost here. Join us for a night of creativity, music, and good vibes. We're excited to host Flora Bouquets during June Art Night. The event highlights: paint a pot, so you can do a flower pot and take it home. The supplies are all provided. There's going to be a live DJ, flower bar. I love flower bars. And t-shirt drops. So exclusive event tees are available. Walk-ins are welcome. But tickets are available at One of One Gallery. One, like ONE, spell it out. One of One Gallery.shop. /products/gallery-night. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna put that on our website.
Kylie is going to make that work.
In our newsletter. We're gonna put that in our newsletter because that was a whole lot, and there's just no way that anybody will ever get that. But it sounds like a pretty fun event, and it's $20. So that's happening Friday night.
All
Nick,
right.
what do you got?
So next up, Saturday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., Buzz Social Kids Carnival, 2310 Lineville Road, Green Bay. Get ready for a day packed with games, prizes, and family fun. So there's going to be carnival games, there's going to be prize giveaways, there's going to be face painting. They've also got bowling and arcade specials, and a live fire truck in the flesh.
Very cool.
Bring the whole family for our once-a-year carnival and start the summer off right.
Very cool. Buzz Social Kids Carnival. Yeah. So I always get excited, by the way, about that kind of stuff. And I love like the carnivals and the festivals and all that kind of stuff, and having young kids, so you get it, right?
Oh, yeah.
But in the last year or so, my children have ruined my life because they've both decided, I don't even know, like, where do they get this stuff? Well, you know where they get it from is the internet.
The internet.
We didn't have that back in the day. No, recently, Tori said to me, the one that does the voice on here, she goes, Mom, I don't trust those carnival rides. I'm not going on those. And I was like, what? She like broke my heart.
That's sad.
I know. And then at the same time, I'm also like, well, maybe this is a good thing that
Yeah.
I'm putting my kid on these traveling rides.
I was going to say, I low-key don't blame her.
I know. She's
It's
like,
not unfounded.
Mom, they're kind of janky.
She might be
I'm
onto
like,
something.
okay, I guess you're right. I mean, think about it as a kid. How many things do we go on where it was like, you're just hearing like the creaks as it goes around? I always went on the thing with the, I don't know what that thing is called, but you get in like the
Cage.
cage.
Yeah.
And it spins.
yeah.
Woo, that's a lot. All right. Well, anyways, 15th annual Fox Cities Butterfly Festival is happening on Saturday from 9 a.m. until noon.
Oh, that's cool.
This is at Appleton City Park. So Appleton City Park this weekend, 500 East Franklin. It's the Butterfly Festival. It's free.
Oh.
Annual family fun held each June. It opens at 9 a.m. with registration. Oh, and there's light breakfast foods. Activities include face painting and crafts, kids' games and entertainment, butterfly demonstrations. In the spirit of helping families fly, the event closes at 12 o'clock with a group release of over 1,000 butterflies.
Wow.
And a butterfly purchase is optional. Oh, don't. Okay, wait. I shouldn't have said that. Now I'm gonna be the proud owner of like 10 butterflies. Find more information on our website, foxcitiesbutterflyfestival.com.
Interesting. So I'm also realizing that time overlaps with the Appleton Farmers
Market, which we have a
is
booth. Come and see us.
just down the street.
Yeah.
So come see me.
And you're going to
be
be there
there.
this weekend, aren't you, Nick?
Yeah.
Yes, you are. And we are handing out water bottles. Free water bottles.
Free
Come
water
talk to us
bottles.
about anything real estate related, community related. We'd love to share.
Okay, so the final thing that we've got on here, and again, it is Father's Day.
Oh, Father's Day weekend. Happy Father's Day to all the amazing fathers out there.
We have the Les Stump Ford 44th Annual Father's Day Car Show, Sunday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's at Les Stump Ford, 3030 West College Avenue, Appleton. Mark your calendars for Sunday, June 15th, and join us for our 44th Annual Car Show.
Wow.
Registration fees, $10 per vehicle, and registration is 11 a.m. or 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., excuse me. Participant voting, 10 a.m. to noon.
This
and
is serious.
There's an
There's
awards
voting.
ceremony at 2 p.m. They're going to have food, DJ, LED video screen. Oh, wow. Bucket raffles and 50-50 raffles. So show on up to that.
Very cool. That honestly sounds like it would probably be right up my husband's alley.
Yeah,
He's probably going to
the
be like,
perfect
let's go
Father's
to the
Day.
car show.
What's his request for Father's Day?
Do you know what's interesting is the other day I said that, I asked him that, and he goes, I don't really know. I don't really think I want to do anything.
That's what he wants.
Yeah.
He does a lot.
Is that do nothing
To
or
give
like
him-
leave me alone so I can do nothing?
I think it's kind of like leave him alone. He wants to do nothing. Because to be honest, to his credit, he does a lot. He does a lot. He takes care of the kids a lot because I'm working a lot. And he's super handy. So he does like a billion projects around the house. I'm always like, okay, Bill, I need you to do this. I need you to do this. So for him, he's like, can I just actually like have a day off? What about you? What do you want to do?
Yeah, so my wife is working this weekend.
Okay,
So
what does your wife do?
She's a nurse.
Okay.
She works for Aurora in a labor and delivery unit.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. So this is her work weekend, so
Okay.
I get to spend Father's Day being a father.
Okay.
Daddy daycare.
You sure
Yeah.
do.
So I'm sure we'll do a lot of things the kids want to do.
That's the way it seems to go,
Yeah,
right?
it's great time with them.
Yeah.
But it won't be about me this weekend. Let's just be honest.
It's just you know what?
It's their world. I'm living in it.
It sure is.
They're
And
7 and 5. So
Okay.
It's
and let me tell you, it gets honestly when people say it gets to be more and more fun, I really do believe that. So mine are it gets to be more fun, but it also is like heartbreaking because you're like watching them grow up, right? But my kids are now 12 and 10, and their social calendar. Like, I'm an Uber driver for them.
Yeah.
Seriously, I feel like every day I'm constantly, like, either managing their schedule, putting things into the calendar. Tori needs to be at dance at this time. Jay needs to be here at this time. It's just constant.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I love it. I said to my husband the other day, I'm like, once they graduate, like, what am I going to do? I'm going to have so much free time.
I mean, even at 7 and 5, we've got baseball twice this week. I got dance twice this week. I got gymnastics. It's like,
It never ends.
Yeah.
It's great stuff, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's great stuff. And it keeps us out of trouble.
And the more activities they're in, the more clothes you get to wash, too. More laundry.
Yes, that is a great point, Nick. Thank
more money
you.
to spend.
Yeah. Well, I hope you and everybody out there has a great Father's Day. Thank you again for being with us. Thank you for what you're doing. Everybody should check out GPS Ed. I think it's just such a cool program. And we hope everybody has a great week and weekend. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. To contact Kelly Davies Homes team for all of your buying and selling needs, call 920-791-9047. Find us on Facebook at the Kelly Davies Homes Team or go to kellydavieshomes.com.